telling you why I went to the prison camp.
Yeah. Where was this prison camp? I mean, do they have them around the
In
country?
Los Angeles. They have them where the Sea Organization units are. There was one in Los Angeles. There is one down at Clearwater, Florida. There was one out at the secret Scientology International Headquarters, which was in Hemet, California, out in the desert.
Secret? Why was it secret?
Well, why was it secret? At that time, in the late 70s, early 80s, it was being kept a secret because they were hoping that Hubbard would be able to come there and live there. And it had to be kept very secret because he was in hiding. It has, I'm not really sure why they continue to keep it secret, but they promote it as a film studio where they make all the promotional films for Scientology, but really it's where Miscavige and his head people all live, and it's where Scientology is run from internationally. Miscavige runs it internationally. It's a very dictatorial political system.
Imagine, yeah.
And his word is law, and everybody does what he says. But I was very critical of him. I felt that he was very dictatorial.
Where did he come from? Is he just a Scientologist who rose through the ranks also?
Well, actually, he kind of grew up in Scientology. He's from Philadelphia. His family's from Philadelphia. His parents were both in Scientology, and he got in at a very early age. I think, I'm not really sure how old he was when he got in, but I think by the time he was 8 or 9 or something, he was very much a Scientologist, and he became one of Hubbard's messengers. Hubbard's messengers were his, I don't know what an equivalent would be, but they were very young children who ran Scientology for him. They became his eyes and ears. When I say young children, I don't mean 8 or 9, but they were in their teens. Or something like that. And Miscavige was one of those. He was basically raised at Hubbard's knee. He rose in the ranks as a messenger, and I think he was very ambitious. I think he saw that it would be possible for him to take over after Hubbard died.
Even though Hubbard had children.
Yeah, but Hubbard's children... Hubbard was never much of a family man, to say the least. You know, his wife went to jail for crimes which he knew about, ordered, and then he kind of threw her to the dogs and let her take the rap.
What crimes were they?
Well, Scientology, Hubbard became very paranoid that there was a conspiracy against Scientology worldwide, and he decided that all the false reports about Scientology and various government files needed to be taken out of the files. And so he sent out orders that this was to be done. And some of these agencies were not very cooperative about this, such as the IRS. And so some of the more, his wife ran a program which included having people break into the IRS offices and steal documents. And they got caught. And about, I think, 11 people went to jail in 1980 for that. And Miscavige took over right after that. And his whole kind of the crisis that he rode in on basically was that crisis. And he took over control of all aspects of Scientology in 1981.
In the sense of, does he own the organization? Is he as a piece of property, does he own?
No, he has complete control over every single Scientologist in the world. If David Miscavige tells somebody to do something, they have to do it, or they risk being thrown out of Scientology.
Yeah.
Which for Scientologists, obviously, is like, I guess, a Catholic risking being excommunicated, or anybody else who believes very strongly in what they're doing, you know, risking being denied access to that thing.
Yeah. What level did you rise to ultimately? Is there like an OT 43 or something? Or
when we left, which was in 1989, I had, in my auditing, I had gotten to, I think maybe the second or third highest level of auditing that you can get to, that you could get to at that time.
Yeah. More levels have developed since then.
More levels have been released since then. But I was on OT. I should explain this.
Yeah.
There's a state called clear, which people might have heard of, which is what Dianetics claim to be able to help people to achieve.
Yeah.
And, the state of clear was originally sort of supposed to be a state in which your mind, which was the model was sort of a computer, and a computer works perfectly unless it has some, you know, held down keys.
Yeah.
And so basically what auditing was all supposed to do was to get rid of all of these held down keys in your computer mind, and then you would be able to return to your original state of having a perfect computer. And that was the model that he used. But after the state of clear, he then developed further levels that you could reach, which cost, of course, more and more and more money too, but they're called, excuse us, that's a cat.
Yeah, I can hear her scratching.
That's all right.
Melissa. Sorry. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
After clear, there are other states that you can attain, which are called operating thetan levels. A thetan being the name of the person themselves in Scientology. So,
like my name, and it would be Thetan. Is that what you mean?
Well, like instead of saying that that you're a person or that you're a being, you say you're a thetan. It's just their word. They have a whole other language. They don't use regular words much for much of anything. So operating thetan is the basic idea is sort of like Nietzsche's Superman. You're promised that you are going to be able to achieve incredibly superhuman abilities. You'll be able to move around at will without your body. You'll be able to have complete control over the entire physical universe. You'll be able to do whatever you want to.
That is attractive.
Well, it is quite attractive. I don't know anybody who's ever achieved the state, but it is very attractive. And part of what happens in Scientology is that another level will be released, and everybody who has by now kind of begun to wonder, wait a minute,
when do I get to move things around in the universe?
Doing all these things that I was supposed to be able to do. Well, another level gets released, and they're told, well, we didn't want to tell you then, but really, that was just preparation for this level, which is where you're really going to be able to do these things. So it keeps going.
Yeah. How much does this cost every time you have to keep going up one notch?
I don't know what the prices are now. It's very expensive. I know people who have spent $200,000 or $300,000, and then have become very disillusioned and, you know, complained about it. But I never paid for it because I was in the Sea organization, so I'm not really familiar with the prices.